Welcome to ProgrammingKT. I am explaining about the problem is spiral matrix. For given two-dimensional array, we need to access all array elements in spiral order. So here in this case, we need to start with 12 and ends with 97. Then the output will be like this. So let me show you one tracing diagram. Then you can understand more. So I am trying to solve the problem in 4 steps. In step 1, I am trying to read first row data from left to right. In step 2, I am trying to read last column data from top to bottom. In step 3, I am trying to read last row data from right to left. 16 to 32. So in step 4, I am trying to read first column data from bottom to top, that is 32 to 23. So repeat the same process until we reach the target, that is 67. So let me try to build the logic for this problem. So first I need to create one input array. So next I am trying to create one method called spiral matrix. Spiral matrix. So this method is expecting two-dimensional array. So I am trying to create that method. So inside that I am trying to declare 4 variables called row begin to check boundaries of two-dimensional array. For that I am trying to create 4 variables, that is row begin. I am initializing with 0. Next one will be the column begin. Here I am declaring with call begin. Next one will be the row end. Here I am trying to use I am initializing with array.length and s1, and I am using next fourth variable call end. I am initializing with array of length -1. So these are the 4 boundaries. Within this, we need to access all elements in spiral order. So next I am trying to declare one collection to store all elements. When I am trying to access elements in spiral order, right? So I need to store. So that's why I am using here list collection, new array list. Next I am trying to use one while loop to access the data from two-dimensional array. So here I am trying to check the condition like row begin less than or equal to row end, and moreover that I am trying to add one more condition, that is call begin less than or equal to call end. So inside this only I am trying to implement 4 steps. So step 1 will be the read row data from top to bottom. So first row, second row, third row, like that I am trying to read row by row from top to bottom in first step. So in step 2 I am trying to read column data from right to left, like elements are I am reading top to bottom, but column count I am trying to increment by right to left. So here read column data from left to right. Next in step 3 I am trying to read row data from bottom to top. So finally in step 4 I am trying to read column data from, here it is the step 3. In step 4, I am trying to read column data from left to, here it will be right to left, not here left to right. Here it will be right to left. In step 4, we need to read left to right. So here I am trying to say count, I mean increment value of row and column. But data will be, so data will be in step 1, I am trying to read from left to right in first step. In step 2, I am trying to read column data from top to bottom. In step 3, I am trying to read last row data from right to left, but increment will be bottom to top. Here increment will be right to left. Here increment will be top to bottom. In step 4, increment will be left to right, but reading data will be bottom to top. So let me try to build the logic. So here I am trying to use one for loop. So I am trying to change the I value. Instead of 0, I am initializing with call begin. Next, here I am trying to change the condition I less than or equal to call end, and moreover that I am trying to increment the I value. So I am trying to store, and I am iterating first row. I am trying to store the data inside list. So array of row begin, first row, right? That's why I am using row begin of I. So I am trying to access first row elements one by one. Once first row is done, I need to increment the row begin count. Row begin. Next, I am trying to write one more for loop for second step. So here I am trying to change, I mean initialization of I value with row begin. Here I less than or equal to row end, and I am trying to increment the value. So at the time of iterating, I am trying to store the data inside collection, I mean list. Array of I, for accessing last column, array of I call end, mean last column, right? That's why I am using here column end. So once last column reading is done, we need to decrement call end count, call end minus minus. So for step 3, I am trying to use one more for loop. So before that, I need to check one condition. Why? Because here I incremented a row count, right? Row begin. So if I did not check the row begin count, we will get index out of bound exception. So for that, first we need to check if is there any row, I mean row exist, I mean we need to traverse, otherwise we will get index out of bound exception. That's why I am trying to implement one condition, row begin less than or equal to row end. So inside this only I am trying to implement for loop. So here I am trying to change the I value initialization with call end, and condition also I am trying to change here. So I am trying to iterate data from right to left, right? That's why I am greater than or equal to, I am implementing the condition call begin from right to left, right? That's why I am changing the condition call begin. So moreover that I need to decrement the I value. So inside this I am trying to add list dot add array of row end last row, right? That's why I am using row end of I. So once the last row reading part is done, we need to decrement row end count, row end minus minus. So finally I need to implement step 4 logic. Here also I need to check one condition, that is call begin less than or equal to call end. Call begin less than or equal to call end. So inside this only I am trying to implement one more for loop. So here also I am trying to change I initialization value, that is row end, and condition also I am trying to change greater than or equal to row begin. So here also I need to decrement the I value. So I am trying to add elements inside that list. So array of for first column, I mean from left side, I mean in step 4. So array of I and call begin. Why? Because I mean first column, right? From left side, I mean in step 4, call begin. Now once in step 4 first column is done, from left to right we need to increment call begin count, call begin plus plus. So this is the logic for accessing the elements in spiral order. So let me try to return that list, then we can print it, list of integers. So finally once the logic is done I am trying to return it, return list. Now let me try to print that result. So assign to spiral matrix. Now I am trying to write one s out. So spiral matrix, here I can give spiral matrix result. Now let me try to run. Check the actual output with current output here. So 12, 42, 73, 34, 80, 14, 44. So exactly 88, 78, 45, 68, 67, 10, 97. I mean first row is from, I am starting with first row left to right, 12, 42, 73, 34 up to here. Then last column from top to bottom, 80, 14, 44, 80, 14, 44. So last row right to left, 11, 91, 88, 11, 91, 88. Then first column bottom to top, 78, 45, 78, 45. Again repeat the same process. From in step 1 we are reading from data from left to right, right, 68, 67. Then in step 2 we are reading data from top to bottom, like 67 anyway already read it, 10. Next bottom second row, that is 97. So this is the last element. So let me try to run the logic with different input. Here the input will be, matrix array will be n by n. Let me try to change the array like n by m. So whether the logic is working or not, I am trying to check with different input. So first row 12, 42, 73, last column 67, 10, 11, last row 91, 88, first column bottom to top 78, 45, then 68, 97. Exactly it is, working as expected. Then let me try to execute with one more different input. So let me try to run first row, 12, 42, 73, 67, 68, 45. So let me change one more input. Now let me try to run. So 12, 42, 68, 45. Yeah, it is working as expected. So let me try to pass one element. So we are getting, so it is working as I expected. So with a different type of inputs. So if we can observe here time complexity and space complexity. So I am trying to store all elements, right? If the array contains 10 elements, I am trying to store in a list of 10 integers, right? So in that case, I can say space complexity will be big O of n. So whole array I am trying to store in new list, right? That's why I can say big O of n. Then time complexity will be exactly I am trying to iterate n times, right? For each element I am trying to iterate. So this one also big O of n. So if you know any better solution comparing with this, make a comment in comment section. Moreover that, if you like the content, hit on like button, subscribe ProgrammingKT. Thank you.